The goal with Saga is to provide the best possible circumstances for language learners to succeed. Because everyone is so different, we believe building a system that learns and improves alongside you is the best approach for supporting learners. The system understands why you want to learn the language and teaches you phrases and situations related to your goals in life. It understands how you learn the best and gives you exercises that optimally build fluency. It even understands what makes sense to you and gives you explanations and feedback that you just get. Now, let me show you how it works in action. The home screen in Saga is the tutor chat. We did this because it opens up for a more flexible and personalized user experience. The tutor keeps track of all your progress and personal goal and suggests exercises based on that. But because it's a chat, you can speak to the tutor as if it were a human. If you'd rather practice something else, or you have any questions regarding the language you are learning, you can always just ask, and the tutor will think hard about what you are saying and respond in an understanding way. The idea is that the tutor leads the practice, but you are ultimately in control. In the top right, we have the tutor's notes. Here we can see the current plan that the tutor has made for you. We can see a list of objectives that you are practicing, and then the reason for why these things are currently prioritized. If we go over to the progress page and go down to the bottom, we can see all the phrases and words that you have encountered during the exercises. Each phrase has a mastery level, so the system keeps track of how well you know everything. These phrases are also automatically reintroduced into the exercises to make sure you don't forget them. The system takes care of all of this, so you can just focus on learning. So let's start the simulation. Here we are met with the pre-simulation screen. We can see a description of the setting of the simulation and the practice focus. The character in the simulation is aware of your practice focus and set up moments that let you practice these specifically. As a learner, you don't have to remember these, but we thought it was nice to give some transparency. Now, let's start for real.
와, 경치가 너무 예뻐요. 피곤해요?
The character inside the simulation will always start speaking first, and then the simulation pauses. We can see the left part of the screen contains the simulation itself, and on the right side we have the tutor, which we can turn to for support anytime during the exercise. In real life, you don't have captions, so to allow users to practice listening and speaking first, we've hidden the phrase by default and represented each word with a dash. You can click on a word to hear it again.
피곤해요?
You can also unhide the phrase by clicking on the closed eye, and now when you click the word, you also get a translation.
피곤해요?
And of course, you can also click on the play button if you want to listen to the entire phrase again.
와, 경치가 너무 예뻐요. 피곤해요?
This is a good time to look over to the right. The tutor has knowledge of all the phrases you master and sees when you encounter something new for the first time. Without you having to write to it first, the tutor explains new words and nudges you to respond with phrases that aligns with your practice focus. Same thing here though. If you have any questions or want to respond in another way than what's suggested, you can just write to the tutor and you will get the help you need. You can also ask how a phrase is pronounced and you get one of these play buttons so you can listen to how they sound.
너무 행복해요.
When you're ready to respond, you click the microphone button and speak. 너무 행복해요. After you press stop, you can cancel if you messed it up, or you just wait and you let the character in the simulation respond.
저도요. 이번 주에 뭐 했어요?
Down here, you can see a transcription of what you just said. The tutor may highlight words, which means that it detected a pronunciation error. If you hover it, you can see an explanation of what happened and how to fix it. You can also click on the word itself to hear how it is supposed to sound.
너무.
If you are not happy with your turn, you can always click on this little arrow to go back to the previous turn. In general, it's quick and easy to go back and forward between turns. This cycle continues until you have completed the simulation. The tutor will look over the simulation and let you know when you have covered the intended practice focus. You can then choose to continue a few rounds or leave immediately to finish the exercise. Back at the home screen, the tutor summarizes how it went and gives you some feedback to take with you. This feedback is used to create new exercises to make sure you build up well-rounded language skills usable in real life. Once you cover everything in the study plan, the tutor creates a new study plan that smoothly builds on top of what you already know. When a new study plan is created, the tutor also looks at what you have been struggling with, as well as your personal goal. While the tutor does remember important things that you say about why you are learning a language, we also implemented a much more straightforward way of telling the tutor what your goal is. If we go over to the left, we have a feature we call the ideal future. Here, you can write a text about the future you are aiming for in life and how learning a language goes into that. Anytime during the language learning, you can go in here and edit this text. The tutor looks at this when creating new study plans to make sure you get to practice the language that is the most meaningful to you. Now I want to go over to the progress page again and show you what kind of insights you can get from your progress. First, you can see how well you function in each domain in life. We have the practical domain, social, and work and study. Over to the right, you can see the general trend of your progress. The value of this graph is a sum of your mastery across all the phrases you learned. It may look abstract, but it's really based on hard data about your actual skills. Then we have your estimated CEFR score. For those of you that don't know, CEFR is an international standard for describing language proficiency, mostly used for European languages. And then we have weekly goal, which is a way to keep yourself accountable. It's not a streak. You don't lose your progress if you miss a week. It's just a simple way of making it clear for yourself if you are actually studying or not. The last thing I want to bring up is our WhatsApp integration. Instead of annoying notifications, we made it possible to chat with the tutor using WhatsApp. It's a way to plan sessions and get reminders that is much more flexible and dynamic than static notifications. You let the tutor know when you want to study, and it will write back at those times. If you are busy, then you just write that you are busy, and then the tutor will remind you a bit later. That's an overview of the app at this point. If you want to see how much this can help you, you can start a free trial at saga.study and find out. You can easily cancel yourself before 7 days, and no money will ever be charged. We are also improving the app constantly, and we listen very closely to feedback from users and have previously implemented a lot of new features based on that. So please reach out if you see anything we can do better. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.